Hey y'all, welcome back to Harmon Homestead. I just sat down in the swing. It has been a day. We have worked all day and I have just dealt with animals, chickens, ducks, whatever. I'm waiting on the sun to get down a little bit more before I start watering our garden. So got that, got supper to do, had chores. You know, you gotta take the trash out, do the dishes, do this, do the laundry. It's a lot. So today's one of those days I'm overwhelmed. I'm tired. I just finally wanted to sit down and do a chicken scratch talk time with you. I've not been on here that much. I want to tell you thank you to all of the new subscribers. Thank you very much. I cannot believe this. You inspire me. Like, you are the reason I'm here. So I can't believe that you guys are watching us. So that puts a lot of pressure. I want to make the best videos and the best DIYs and all this, and you can only DIY so much, okay? That's it. And I said from the very get-go that this is a documentation of our journey, good, bad, or indifferent. So follow along with us. We are Harmon Homestead. We're on Instagram. We're there, not as much, but we are on social media, and I wear many hats, okay? I've told you before, I work full-time, and my husband works full-time, and we have enough animals here to have a zoo. So we've got more gardens this year than we've ever had. My dad wanted to plant some silver queen corn, so my husband dished up some ground and we planted that, and we've got a lot going on. So let's start this chicken scratch talk time. Just a discussion. I'm going to tell you what I think, and I want to call this one getting down to the brass tacks. Have you ever heard that expression, the brass tacks? Getting down to it. It's getting down to the nitty gritty. You are laying it out there. So let me start off by telling you, I did a video the other day on back to the buckets. I went to my pasture garden, and what the deer had not annihilated completely, that had sprouted, contender bush beans, all in one row. I planted 6 long rows. No germination anywhere else. Nothing had been destroyed anywhere else. The one row that germinated, which makes no sense to me, every seed germinated. Wiped them off clean. Last year they didn't touch my pumpkins. I planted the Baker Creek, the Rouge d'Anton. They've eaten those up. That was day before yesterday. All the blue Hubbard squash but 2 have been gone. I could go on and on and on. So I'll cut it short on this a little bit. I had nothing left. The corn that I planted, the Cherokee White Eagle, I probably had 20 stalks, and they were about 8 inches tall at best. Looked good. Nothing else germinated. In 2 different areas of that garden, I have had the worst problem this year with seeds not germinating from multiple companies, multiple different seeds. I mean, I don't know what is up with this. All I can figure is the weather, or either I did something wrong. Maybe I over-fertilized it. So I don't know. So anyways, I did the video on back to the buckets. I got very nervous. I planted everything in buckets that I could. I probably have 20 buckets of bush beans. I tried something new. 20 buckets of field peas, black-eyed peas, and then I did buckets of acorn squash. And then I did buckets of scallop squash and regular squash. Okay, fast forward. Raised bed right behind me. About 1/3 of it germinated. All different seeds, all different places, all different companies, different varieties. Y'all, I have never seen anything like this. So what is going on? Have any of you experienced your seeds not germinating? If you have, let me know. Comment and let me know, please, because now I'm really starting to get paranoid over this. I'm wondering why these seeds are not coming up. It was so bad that my husband took some of the corn seeds inside in a damp paper towel and wanted to see if they would even germinate. So this weekend, on top of everything else we've got going on, I went in every blank spot in this raised bed, because I did have a good bit germinated, and I didn't want to destroy the whole thing. because you get nervous, you know, you don't know what to do. So I left the seedlings that had germinated, and I went in every row and planted bush beans. I got these from the feed store. The man told me that these had done better than contenders. Contenders were my #1 last year. I could not be any more impressed with contender bush beans. He said, try this green crop bush bean. He said, that's what I planted, and they've outdone the contender by far. So I planted those in every spot. I had to hoe it in these rows, hoe it out. Thankfully, the soil was still loose because it's not rained. It's not rained at all. Now, I've been watering this bed, but the soil was good. And I filled in, which was so tedious, y'all, every spot with those green crop bush beans. And where the pole beans had not germinated, about half of 60 feet, 30 feet had germinated, I went back and planted Kentucky Wonder pole beans. These are all brand new seeds. They're not saved, and they're from 2 different places. If these don't germinate, then I'm going to be very worried. And I did not fertilize these before I planted, so we'll see. It may be my fault. Who knows? The pasture garden, my dad's spot, my husband and I looked at it, which it was still kind of soon this weekend. He planted it last Sunday, so over a week ago. We looked at it Saturday. No rain on it whatsoever. We had 4 seedlings. 4. In our pasture, I made the decision of hoeing up every stalk of Cherokee White Eagle corn I had. This is what I'm getting at with this chicken scratch talk time. If I'm at the decision, we're getting down to the brass tacks. We're just telling it like it is. I can try to grow this just to see what it will do and have at best 12 ears of corn, or I can try to replant. It's a gamble. So, by hand, half of the pasture, I hoed out everything and replanted Silver Queen corn new seeds, which was $32 for 2 pounds. That's how much corn has went up. What's it going to be next year? That's my question. Y'all, that was ridiculous. But if you look at the price of it in a store, it's worth it, you know. But that's a lot of work, guys. And my husband got the tractor down there, and for the majority of it, he, did, and we planted. So, getting down to the brass tacks of it, we've come to a fork in the road. Either, if you're having failures right now, try to analyze where you've messed up, and see if you're even responsible for it, or anything you could do differently. You can try again, or you can just throw in the towel. With what all we've had going on, it was all I could do not to just throw in the towel. And it rained on that corn that we planted that night for about 2 minutes. It'll be raining a mile up the road, not rain at our house. It's just summer, springtime rain, I get it. But we have not had rain in this location for weeks. It is bad. That's part of the problem with this stuff not germinating, I feel like. This weather has been horrible. It's hot, it's dry. It feels like it is in late July here. It's not conducive to grow anything. So, guys, we made the decision to replant. And I wish, especially with all these new subscribers, I feel like the pressure's on. Like I just really need to show you something because I want to make it great. And I want this channel to thrive and do well because I feel like I personally have had a calling to encourage others to do this. I didn't choose this, it chose me. That's it. That's just getting down to it. So, I want to show you the best, but I don't have the best right now. I don't have it. And you're going to have good years and bad years. I understand that, but it's looking like this is going to be a bad year. I walk out to my chicken pens today, and we had tried so hard to get these Tobin Polish. I'd hatched these, raised these up, and I walk out there, and 3 were just gone this afternoon, laying right there. No injuries, nothing. So then you start thinking in your mind, was it a heat stroke? Was it a nutrient deficiency, an internal problem. You know, it's just like when it rains, it pours. And it's so easy to get discouraged. It is. I've just sat here this afternoon and I just feel drained. I just feel down. Nothing is going like we've planned, and nothing, I mean, you could say nothing's going right. I mean, but everything works out for a reason. You try to be positive, but y'all, I've said this a million times, especially on these chicken scratch talk times. If you don't love this, there ain't no point in fooling with it. That's the bottom line. That if you've got to love it to do it, hardcore. When I say planting 6 gardens and buckets and whatever else, I want to save money, grow our own food, know that it's healthy food, have our own animals, and become sustainable. And when you get down to the brass tacks of that, when you become sustainable, you are responsible. You can't go off and just, you know, well, I just throw in the towel. You are responsible for everything that you start when you are depending on yourself. We are responsible. Now, we're responsible in life for many things, or, you know, everything that we do every day. We're responsible. We can't help what happens to us, but we can change how we react to it. That's totally different than what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you go to a grocery store and buy your food every week, you're not responsible for anything but going and getting it. We are responsible for growing it, maintaining, harvesting, processing, storing, preserving, and preparing and eating every bit of that. You have to love this to want to do it. I mean, and to keep doing it. And that's the best video advice I can tell you right there. So many people we've talked to, yeah, we dabbled in chickens and got out of it. That may be a good thing. The way, you know, it may be best for you. That's fine. I couldn't do a lot of what y'all do, or other people. You know, I get it. I get that. But I'm trying to encourage myself and encourage you guys in this fact alone. When you are sustainable, you are creating your own ways to keep going. You're wire working around. If you are determined to make this work and not depend on someone else, you'll find a way, some way or another. You've got to keep going. But there's no one to say, hey, you know, now I need about 500 plants of beans right now, and just bring them to the house and we'll, you know, whatever. You can't do that. And it's so hard. But you're not alone. You're not alone, because I'm sitting here struggling this year big time. If you're having failures and you're watching all these videos where people are showing everything is perfect and wonderful, it is not true. It's just not true. You may have a perfect year, but it's not going to be that way every year. There's weather, there's natural disasters, there's family problems, there's sickness, there's health, there's a whole 9 yards. Financial problems, you could go, I mean, anything could happen. Nothing is perfect. But when getting down to it, when you are sustainable, you must sustain. Y'all, there are so many people I talk to that know nothing about this, and we are self-taught. And you know what? Kudos. I know I am. I am self-taught. My husband has more knowledge on this than I do. My family didn't do this. The people that did do this were long gone, or either too old to show me or tell me or remember to tell me. And to be quite frank, they didn't want to think about those times. I know my great-grandmother, I mean, she talked about her garden and all, but it was such hard work. She didn't, you know, they didn't celebrate that. That's something they had to do. They didn't think it was cool to go out here and do all this, and they just dabbled around in it, and they just didn't care if it didn't make or not, because they always had, you know, a big box store to go to on every corner. And that's the difference. We are self-taught. I've talked many times about old-fashioned things. I reverend that. I reverend the old-fashioned ways, and that pretty much hit me this week. the old-fashioned way, you can collect all you want to. You can try to copy everything that the old-fashioned techniques are, but the real way to be old-fashioned is, unfortunately, not only share their good times and successes and their joys and their materialistic things, but you're gonna have to share those hard times. And when you get in a bind and share a hard time just like those people did, but they kept on going, that's the key for being sustainable and being responsible, and just pick up and keep on going and keep trying. They had no choice. We have a choice in everything that we do in society these days, I feel like, as far as gardening, and we have plenty of choices. A lot of people did not in the Great Depression, and they had to do what they had to do. Even, I mean, my family on up into the 50s, 60s, they had to do what they had to do. So we're doing what we're having to do, and we're going to keep on going, because I don't want to pay a $500 grocery bill every 2 weeks. I do not want to do that, and I don't want to pay for gas. I don't want to do it. I don't even drive as much. I just don't. I don't go running around everywhere. I'd rather spend that money on something I enjoyed. I've said that before too. If the money's there, I'd rather save it or spend it on something I enjoy than having to pay. So I just enjoy it, and it's full circle. But the moral of the story, guys, is you've got to love what you do, and you're going to have to keep going. And kudos to you if you are self-taught. Keep learning knowledge and keep going, because if bad times happens to you and you pick right back up and keep trying, that's the most old-fashioned thing you can learn and experience. Those were bad times people went through, and I got a feeling ourselves we're going to get very close to those people in feelings with what all's going on. So hope and pray that all this germinates. Hope and pray. And if you're having trouble with weather or your seeds, again, please let us know, because I'm just curious. I'd like to know myself. I've been seeing all these dust storms and all that. Some people are getting flooded. So I don't know. I just don't know. I keep up with as much as I can, but I am curious myself. And another thing, last thing I'm gonna say, if you are trying to homestead and you're watching our channel, we show you how to do stuff. We show you tours. We've done that. Show you everything in its growth cycle. We show you our animals, and we do the chicken scratch talk times where we sit and talk to you, or I do. If, you know, everybody comes to a channel to learn different things. Some people like the talking videos. Some people like the DIY videos. I could do more videos that would draw people in, but I want to, honest, getting down to it, I just want to stay authentic. This is what I like to do, and I like to sit here and talk to you. I want to get feedback. I want to get a following. I want to get people involved in this. And I think a lot of people are going to end up involved in this by accident this year. I think they're just going, you know, sometimes you may have to do things. So this is what I like. I like talking to you, and like I said, I feel like this is a calling. And on the chicken scratch talk times, I've talked about opinions and what I think, and I try to be encouraging. We're doing all we can, guys, to keep going ourselves. We are sustaining. We're trying to sustain this channel, and it's all about self-sufficiency and sustainability. I always put that in my hashtags. So if you follow us, you know, the cute stuff that draws people in, I enjoy it, but I'd rather have fewer followers that are here to learn and to discuss and seriously into it than doing stuff to just get people that probably may not want to be here to begin with. So bear with us, stick with us, let us know what you like. I've done that before. Some people did some recommendations. I've not been able to do those videos. I know one person said they wanted to see old tools, and we're out here still trying to use the tools we've got, you know. We're trying to survive. And that's what it's all about, is survivability and seeing if we can maintain. The world feels a whole lot different right now for everybody. Things are very strange. That's how I take it. And I'm gonna tell you, the longer I do this, the more I just want to come home and be with what I like. I used to go shopping 10 years ago. I go shopping every day. If I was off work, I'd just go do what I wanted to. Now that I have gardens and animals and all this stuff, I stopped all that because I wanted to spend time with this. And now it's not even so much a lot of times that I want to spend time with these animals or look at them and enjoy the new. The new has worn off, okay? But I'm responsible and I've got to maintain it. And that's keeping me from running around, driving, shopping. It just kind of evolves. So, but this is really what we like and what we like to do. We're both outdoors people, so it's just, this is evolving. Us growing as Harmon Homestead in this channel and social media, we're evolving. We're in the baby steps, but I hope that we can reach somebody, especially our age. I just turned 30, and get someone into this before they have to be into this with whatever may happen. And I just want people to enjoy it, because the more sustainable you are, the better off you are. No one can take knowledge from you. That's it, guys. No one can take it. And the only way you get knowledge is from experience, just about. You can read all day long. You can do all this, and that will help you. But the bad times, that's what I was saying about the old-fashioned, what I wanted the most, the knowledge, I'm getting it this year with suffering with all this and all this hard work and it going to waste. So there's a benefit to it, okay? So the brass tacks, getting down to it today, is everything is a blessing. You've just got to put the troubled times to use and use it to your benefit. Guys, keep with us. We'll see you next time on Harmon Homestead.